Hello everyone, this is Sandrea Mosses, psychic, medium, author, columnist, and I am today with my friend Lyn Slim, who is also a medium, psychic, but her greatest skill no doubt is her healing ability and also her paranormal investigations. I'm not going to tell you where we are tonight, I'm not going to say anything where I am, because I think this place deserves the respect. It deserves not to know what we're doing and just to be able to see this through our eyes of what we see here today. What we're doing is we're walking round to have a look. What's drawn me to this place in this secret location? It's drawn me to this place because it's not high in the air. It's not on top of a mountain where rugged I'd expect. It's in a valley. It's in a valley where I'd expect peace and calm. But we've got a valley where a disaster occurred many, many years ago. We've got the risk of where a disaster occurred in a valley, of that energy stagnating and refusing to move on. That also means the risk that people who lost their lives here have been unable to move on, that are caught in the loop of staying here, living out their ghostly lives. So we're going to have a walk around today, see what it is that we can sense, see what it is that we can pick up, and if we can see anybody who needs help, then we're going to move them on the way. But most of all, we're going to respect the elementals who live here. That is the piskies, the knockers, the elementals, the water elements, the tree sprites, all of them. We will show our respect to them today, and hopefully they'll be kind to us. So, welcome to our walk. Thank you. Come on, Lyn, off we go. Okay. Lead the way.
Yeah, this looks really interesting, Sandra.
Okay. Let's have a look here. You can abandon a building. You can take off its roof, take out its windows and its doors, but the stone will always hold an imprint of what this building was. It will hold within it. But what will make this more important here will be where this is situated. It is situated in a site of great importance in terms of paranormal investigations. It's set in a site surrounded by stone, which is going to amplify anything that you can feel here, surrounded by trees that will hold energy, and with water coursing through. What more could you want in order to be able to pick up and sense a lot of psychic activity? And believe me, I can tell you that's exactly what you can feel here. You can almost see the track where the carts came up and the men trying to push the cart up the last bit there because the track is too heavy and the traffic is too difficult. 2 or 3 men leaning against the back of it trying to push it to try to get it up and over that final hump. Let's walk on, let's see what else we can see. What do you say, Lyn?
Yes, let's go.
So, the ether of the land and the stone will tell you what the history books never can. It will capture everything it is you need to know. You can see here is the lake that fed the mill, that enabled the gunpowder works to run. You can see the blast marks where the stones that made the mill were blasted from. So here we go. Here we have another building. Very little left to say that this was once any working building. We deliberately haven't read the map or read the history of what this place is about, because if I read the history, it tells the story for me. I don't want a story being told for me. I want to be able to read it. And I suppose it's going to give me away. He's looking up and thinking there's a fire in here. But you can feel the cold and the damp. And you can feel men huddled round. There's still the remnants of their energies that you can actually feel within here. As if you concentrate and just touch. What do you say, Lyn?
Yes, I can feel them coming back on a very, very cold winter's evening, and trying to get the fire going and trying to take a snip of brandy to keep out the cold.
Proud, poor and cold. But it made a living. And in terms of farming and other industries, working in the gunpowder actually made quite a good living. for some. We hear about the effect it has on the two explosions that were here, and that very few people lost their lives, but very little is talked about the impact that working with this gunpowder has on the chests. You can almost feel the difficulty in breathing, and the coughing, and the black scum, dirt coming off the chest through breathing in this gunpowder day in, day out, just continually breathing air and breathing it in. I wonder what health and safety would have said about it in those days, Lynn.
Masks, I think.
Absolutely. Not that these poor men had anything. Let's move on. Let's walk down. Let's see what other secrets this magic place has. Maybe we can sense what other entities, what elementals share this place with us, and whether tonight they will be kind to us. Who knows? When nature, water, tragedy all meet together, well, you have a combination of many, many different energies surrounding this place. One of the powerful conduits for seeing any paranormal activity is water. Through ancient times, there's always been a connection between water and the crossing over of the spirits. In ancient times, the funeral cortege would always pass across a bridge to enable the soul to make their journey across to heaven. We hear stories of trolls and many things hidden within our histories and fables. What is the truth? The truth is that you will always get some connection. There will always be protection of the water. And if we're kind to those, maybe they'll be kind back to us. But this is where I would expect to be able to see some and feel some activity. So let's go to that building and have a look. So here we have the remnants of the old mill house. We can hear the water. We can see water running everywhere. And I don't know whether to say it, but I have to say, as I've crossed that bridge, something has just touched my face. Not gently, but something has just actually touched my face. You can feel the power of the energies around here. And if we look up there, there's almost a mist gathering in the trees on the top that gives it that even more mystical. So water's coming down, water's crossing that way, and water is running down there. So we have a massive conduit for anything, whether it is spirits that have passed over or elementals of the underworld have got a gateway, enable them to come forward and communicate and live in this world. We will not stay long. We'll show respect to them, show respect that they've allowed us to step into their world.
Can you feel the resentment?
Yep. We need to go after this.
We do. This is from the elementals.
I know.
This is from the elementals. They didn't like this place being here.
No.
At all. And they made it very difficult. I'm not sure if that explosion was due to them.
It's very hard when you talk about elementals, Lynn, because people don't understand the power of the elementals. They don't understand what they can and they cannot do, but they can interfere. And one of the things that Cornwall is famous for is the knockers. And the knockers were supposed to be pixies or elves, that some say that they knocked to warn the miners that a fall was about to happen. Others say they're knocking towards the fall. I think I'll go for the nicer one. But the elementals did. You couldn't have put this in a worse place. You put it right in a vale of real importance. Vale is where it's going to be the strongest, where you're going to find the elementals, where you're going to find the piskies, the tree sprites, the water sprites, whatever you want to call them, the fairies. And don't always think that the fairies are these lovely little things that you see and read about. It was the Victorians and the Edwardians that turned these fairies into wonderful cherub things. They were not wonderful cherub things. Throughout Celtic history, they are feared, they're revered. People run away to get away from them because of the danger and the damage that they can cause. They have very little time for the humans. They know the humans cause damage wherever they go. We're the most damning thing that has ever lived on this planet. Nobody has caused as much damage as we have, and they know it. I also sense a female here. The little bit that I've read about it all talks about miners, men living here, but I feel females working here, and I can see females. And I can see females walking backwards and forwards, long grey skirts, backwards and forwards, with head covering on. And I know it's a mill, and I know that they would have done some milling of flour, which is quite obvious, but I can see that that's part of their role would have been. They're not the miller, they're doing the menial roles, but they certainly would have had a role to play down here. But you know, Lyn, I'm with you on here. I don't think we should stay around much longer. I think we should respect them.
Just thank them and go.
And in fact, that's why I'm not going to reveal where I've been tonight. Everything that I say shall not give this secret location in fear that other people are going to follow. I'm just hoping that people will see educationally how you can read places and you can read the history of what was and what is. These trees are moving in a bizarre way. The branches are moving, yet there's hardly any breeze. You wonder what's making them move. You can feel an energy. You come stand here, Lyn, feel the energy. So it's coming straight across there. I wonder if this was a water duct or something for the water, because you can feel it. Feel the energy as it crosses over. That's interesting. Now let me move out the way. So I could just feel it, just change. Yeah? Can you feel it?
I can, yeah, it's in my here.
Yeah, that's it. It's coming right the way down.
Coming down
right,
the hill.
Yeah.
It's like it's rolling down the hill.
Yeah, rolling right the way down the hill. You can actually feel the flow of it moving, yes?
It's cold on my legs.
Yeah.
They're very cold.
It's like as if it comes down and forms down, and that's where the power is. And that's the power, people, where we should stay away from. We think of the peace, we think of the solitude, but there's a time to visit and there's a time not to visit. And now is the time not to visit, and now is the time to leave. Why they still let us.